Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Sorry, my apologies. I'm just taking a piss. Sorry about that. Hi, my name is Twan, otherwise known as Wild Twan. So this is my 2000 Ford F350 with a 7.3 turbo diesel engine. Please, it's not a 6-liter. No matter what the fuck you say to me, doc. Stop calling it a 6-liter. 7.3 turbo diesel engine. Alright, let's just cut through the chase. I'm going to show you everything I've done to this thing to make it a more capable rig. To make it a more off-road capable rig. I'm an Overlander. I have an ARB bumper and Baja design lights. I'm such an Overlander. Ow. I'm a little bitch. Nammer squat. So the first thing you do to any off-road vehicle, and the most important thing, is tires. When I picked a tire, I got the Make It Thompson Baja Boss all terrain. And I got them in a 37-inch wide. Fucking hell. That is not 37-inch wide. It's 37-inch tall. Fucker. 37 by 12.5 by 17. Look at the nubs on this. That's a fat nub. So the reason why I went with 17-inch tires is because small meat, less problem. This is a freaking meaty sidewall. Just so when I air down a bit more, I got a wider contact patch because a larger sidewall, bigger expansion. Huey heifer. Someone call me a Huey heifer. I don't know what it means, but I don't like. It's a black rhino, Barack Rhino, Barack Obama, black rhino. It's a black rhino. They're 17 by 8.5 with a minus 18 offset. So with the 37-inch tires, I had to get a minus 18 offset to pull it outwards more. So when I do turn, it clears the leaf. I still am rubbing on the leaves, which kind of sucks. But I think once I put more of a lift on it or do my conversion, it'll clear it. But for now, I think I'm losing out on like a quarter of a turn on my steering wheel. Skirt! But I make it work, no problem. This is no good. The body is sitting on bumper when flex out. I have to do something about it. Bumper? I hardly know her. Gay. In terms of bumper for off-roading and overlanding, for this year of F350, there's pretty much none available except for the ARB bumper. And what makes it an off-road worthy bumper or overland, sorry bros, is having the capacity to carry a winch, and then recovery points. These are supposed to hold the original tow hooks, but I don't have it on right now. And then just having a better departure angle on the side. I believe most of these trucks are made for farm work or as a workhorse. So most of the bumpers that you can buy for these are really just ranch bumpers or bush bumpers. And what it is a solid steel bar, flat this way, just like on a semi truck, and then your bush bar. And most of them don't really have light mounts or winch mounts either. But this bumper made by ARB, sponsor me, please. Give me something. I don't know. I pay for this bumper full price. Not that I deserve or entitled anything. I'm just Asian. Come on. It's not like we suffered or anything. Chinese people did build a railway into Vancouver, BC. Worked the canyons. Yeah, so the winch mount, the mounts for the lights on the front. And then they also have two mounts on top of the bull bars. It's the mount and antenna. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. FFS, Asian problem, ESL. So I'm fairly early on this build, so I don't have everything I need yet. I have a worn winch on the way, hopefully. Worn. I still need to wire up my lights. I'm waiting for also S-pods or a switch panel so I can wire them in. So I do have some Baja design fog lights, but I have no way to mount them right now. I do want to mount them somewhere here. They make a bezel for it, but it's just super expensive for me. As a Canadian, our currency exchange rate is really crazy right now. For every $1 US, it costs me $1.45 Canadian. So I'm gonna have to put that on the back burner because it's not my biggest priority. Also, before I start hitting up more Forest Service roads, or logging roads is what we call them in Canada, I do want to get a radio. I want to run a ham radio so I can get on VHF and UHF. I believe all the resource channels on the Forest Service roads up in Canada are VHF. And I think I also want to get a GMRS radio, just because I believe that's what a lot of the people in the States are using, especially for off-roading, maybe just for convoy communication. So having those two combos would be great. I believe the GM-RS does run on VHF. It's just a very limited amount. But being able to run that in America and this in Canada would be really, really great for me, especially because I spent a lot of time in the States and I was spending a lot of time in Alaska. So one thing that's not really overland or off-road related, but I really wanted for this truck was these Alpharex headlights. I got them because I needed something with high output and then also a very clean and legal cutoff, so I'm not blinding people in the oncoming lane. These headlights are made to DOT standards, so it's definitely just a step up from the $300 or $600 headlights you get from Amazon. But yeah, that's all for the front end. Hopefully in the next video you guys will see more. So at the moment I only have a leveling kit on this truck. I do want to lift it 4 inches, and it's either I'm just going to buy a conventional 4-inch lift for this thing and keep the leaves for now. If I do have enough time and money this year, which I'm really hoping I do before my trip, I want to do the 05 coil swap. So it's essentially pulling the axles and the suspension from a 05 and up Ford F350, the ones with the coil springs. And then when I do that, I want to put on Carly suspension too, just to handle all the weight and really manage the camper on the back and be able to flex out without really working the truck too hard. And the one thing I really haven't figured out to do with that swap is if I'm going to keep the coil springs or do a coilover conversion. Because this is a 7.3, it is a heavier model than I believe the 6.0, or heavier engine, sorry. So I was told running coilovers would give me more room to work with, especially when I'm adding front to the weight and trying to dial or tune it with the 7.3. But I probably have another week or two to really think about that before I make the call. Also, pardon the brightness on this. I really had to crank it up so I could show you the leaves in the rear, but these are fairly short leaves for what it is. And how it runs is the axle isn't centered on the leaf, so it kind of throws off on the geometry of how this truck rides. And if you're not really off-roading a vehicle, it doesn't matter. But if you're doing like a high-speed run on a dirt road and you're hitting whoops and ruts, ideally you want it to perform as best as possible. So when I do the Carly conversion and the swap, I want to run the 08 plus F350, the 08 and up F350 leaves, and they run a lot longer. They run from the same position in the back, but I believe they run up to about here. So it just gives you a longer spring length, which I think allows you to handle more weight, and also really just gives you a softer ride. And when I do all that and I buy the new axles, I do want to re-gear it. I haven't decided yet. I think it's 4.56 or 410 is what I'm going to run, especially with these tires. And then hopefully I do have enough money to add on air lockers too while I'm at it. So this flat deck was built with the Overland off-roading mentality in mind. And how it's different than most flat deck is in the rear, just how much lower it hangs. So a lot of flat decks hang really low, like pretty much to where the hitch is. But I've kind of just pushed this up as much as I can, just for better departure angle. The only thing restricting me now is the hitch and the tire. And I'm going to pull these tires off because this isn't even a 37. It's probably like a 32-inch tire. I'm just leaving it there because it's better than nothing. But once I get a camper on, I'm going to be bringing the tire up a bit higher on the back here. In terms of hitch, I don't know. I might just leave it because I don't really care if I'm wheeling and then rubbing on the hitch. Either that or get someone to custom fab me one that's a little bit higher, and then it sits just below the rear end of this flatbed. Something else I really want to get, and it's kind of hard to find because I think it'll need to be custom made, is rock sliders. These are just side steps, Nerf bars. I think this has already been damaged, but I do want to run sliders. I had them in my Tacoma, and I'm going to be honest, I've only ever used it once. But it will be nice to have, just because spend the extra $1,000 or $2,000 to get rock sliders made, than to freaking wheel over a rock and have it take out my doors or rocker panels, because that's going to be way more expensive to fix. I don't know how I'm probably message some people, some fabricators, to see if anybody's willing to make me one. But yeah, that's kind of on the back burner right now because I'm not really aggressively wheeling this. More focused on really just. But that's on the back burner right now because, like I said, I've rarely ever used it on my Tacoma. Albeit this is a longer wheelbase, so maybe I should not do some stupid stuff like that. But knock on wood, yeah, it's probably the least of my worries right now. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any suggestions for me to do to my truck to make it a more capable, reliable rig for off-roading or overlanding, leave it in the comments below. Yeah, and if you want to see more of this build or support me, just hit the subscribe button. Just because the more subscriber I have, the more company will give me free stuff. Money, 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 money. Tee-hee.